You should already know when I walk in the door that it ain't no use in fronting on me. You should already know when I walk in the door.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Kev Mac videos, live streams, and bonus footage. I'm sitting here today with one of you guys' top 5, a lot of you guys' favorite, Mr. OG Cutes. Cutes, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, Kev Mac. How you doing, brother?
All right. Can you tell the people what separates Kev Mac videos from some of the other platforms in your mind?
Well, I know for myself, I subscribe to this platform because this brother here, he grew up in the same hard streets that I grew up in. He survived some of the same, that environment, just like I survived it. He slept in the county jail. He ate the sack lunch. He's been on the county jail bus. He's been in the tank. He waited for his court day. He felt the misery of his incarceration, just like I felt the misery of my incarceration, but we didn't let it get us down. We prescribed to gangbanging in the jail and on the street. So I feel more comfortable with this platform than I would do with someone else who just has education.
Kev Mac video, this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby. Kev Mac video, this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby. For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole.
For the homegirls with the scrap game.
Little homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA, rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you been through, shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf, I know them killers you kin to. This for the lost generation, broke as hell, mad and impatient. But if you know your history, you can't have a strong foundation, baby. Kev Mac video, this is for sure. Kev Mac video.
I have education too, but I have street education and I have some book education. I have enough sense today that I learned from my past not to repeat some of my mistakes because I have healthy deterrence in place. Kev Mac seems to have gotten a grip of his criminality to where he's not in and out of jail every minute. That's why we're waiting on Mockster to get out so we could sit down and talk to him and process some stuff with him. I'm looking forward to that. And if someone said, oh, he grew up over there, that he grew up with Little Mockster. Little Mockster was a little kid. He lived around the corner from me, and he played with my little brother. So he grew up around me. And someone said, oh, well, Little Mockster's a snitch because he wrote that book and it got a lot of people in trouble. Little Mockster is not no snitch. And I'm preferring to Mockster as Little Mockster. Little Mockster is Monster Kody. He's not no rat. He wrote his book and he didn't understand some of the things. He wanted a raw book. That's the first time someone went into the urbanite and just described some raw ass shit. Some shit that he lived through. So if you don't like the ETG, if you don't like the 60s, if you don't like, the Pyrus, if you don't like the Brims, don't come on no motherfucking platform and try to badmouth somebody. Mockster's doing time now. He's not in PC. So if he snitched on somebody, how come ain't nobody reached out and touched him with a flat? So I don't want to hear that bullshit. And I don't like when you cops get on the platform and you give your little slights, in the comment section. Lil Mockster's a down dude. He made some mistakes. He learned from them. Pretty Boy ain't got nothing against Little Mockster. He's upset about what was written in the book. Little Mockster didn't understand the dynamic of telling a story. And that's cut and dry the way it is. If I ever wrote a book, I would learn from his mistake. I wouldn't be no rat if I described the situation the way the situation was. That's the situation.
Well, like you said, he was the first to do a book of this kind on the LA gang culture, and he really went inside the 68 trade war and the 4800 and the CCO and all that stuff. So I agree with you. I wrote a book myself It wasn't so much about gang banging. It was some gang bang parts in there. It's more about my life gambling and being sprung, and that's the title of the book. But like you said, for anybody that writes a book now, you have to use that book to kind of get your foundation and know what to write and what not to write. What's true and not true about people being convicted of that book, I don't know. But like Q said, we waiting on Monster to parole, and you get it from the horse's mouth.
Straight like that. So stop bad-mouthing the brother. Because if you had him in front of you, you wouldn't be bad-mouthing. If you had him in front of you, you would show him a level of respect. So don't get in cyberspace and turn into a cyberspace cell soldier. Don't be one of them motherfuckers who want to talk some shit because you in this cyberspace bullshit, man. Of anything, that's more of a rat than anything else. I'm going to respect everybody. I'm not going to get on this camera and talk shit about motherfuckers.
How about Jamil Barnes?
Jamil Barnes deserved everything he got. Because he got on the platform and created the distortion and the lies.
Okay.
You know?
We'll leave that right there. I don't want to bash him. I just...
Yeah. I don't want to bash him either. I just, hit him with some hardcore, reality, the truth. And maybe it's changing him. I don't know.
But to go along with what you said, I have that same problem with people in the comment section that, well, a few people talk shit about me. I'm not tripping off that. Couple of people talk shit about Cutes. I know he's not tripping off that, but when you guys go in on Big Quake and you go in on Cadillac, man, you guys wouldn't do that shit if you knew these dudes personally. And if you didn't know them at all, you damn sure wouldn't say it in their face.
I trip off these dudes who never been in South Central. You ain't never walked inside of Harbor Park. I used to go swimming in Harbor Park. I would jump off the diving board with Lucius, OG Brim. I would be in Harbor Park with some of the real reputables that was back in the day up in Harbor Park. You never been to Harbor Park? When I had a piece of the long table, we would go in Harbor Park and play football against the LA Brims, Crips and Brims in the park. We didn't have no gun tower over us watching us.
What year was that, Cutes?
1976.
Okay.
And then when I was in the Harvard Park in 1960s with Lucius, because he was like a swimming coach, but he was also a street gang member as well. I've been around them dudes, man. Then one day he said, hey, man, I want to move over on 71st. My old lady's moving over there. Cutes said, go be all right for me to be down here, man. I says, yeah, man, you can come through here anytime you want. That's your lady over there, man. You about some grown man shit now. Come through here. He come through there all the time. Belgium. Let's talk about Belgium. Belgium was one of the strongest teenagers in YA. He was like straight power. Talking about bench pressing 500 and shit as a kid. Motherfuckers get on there, oh, can't no kid bench press 500. I'm going to tell you two kids that could bench press 500. And what I mean by kid, they're like 17 years old. There was only two that I knew that could do it. And one of them was Jimel. And the other one was Belgium. And Belgium, he wanted to move on the west side. And he asked me, he said, is it going to be cool if I move over here? I says, I can't give you permission. I says, we got to go down here and ask Tookie, is it cool? And he needs to know if you're going to bring your boys through here and it'd be some shit. Because motherfuckers see where you hanging out, where you got your comfort zone and shit. So Belgium took his word. And then Belgium was cool. Because Belgium at this time, he was working out at the 78th Street boxing gym. A lot of people don't know that Belgium knocked down Ken Norton in the ring around 1971-70. In the boxing ring sparring. But Ken Norton got up and gave Belgium a lesson. And why you still on me like that? And we're supposed to be sparring partners. I witnessed that. And those are things that need to be in history. You got to 17-year-old kid. The 77th Street police picked him up at the Nickerson Gardens because he was street fighting, and they didn't want to take him to jail because they had already took him to jail 1,000 times almost, and he would go to East Lake Juvenile Hall. He'd be there with all the other bad kids. That's what they called us. And then at the state, they felt some, sense of responsibility. And the cops said, let's take him up to the Hoover Street boxing gym. This kid, he got skill. So they brought him up there, man. And Belgium came in. He didn't think he could stay around there because he saw me in there and he saw these other dudes in there from that neighborhood, and he didn't feel comfortable. And we said, nah, man, we here learning skills. You come in here, man. And we know you from juvenile hall. We make our relationships like that. So that's when Belgium started going to the gym and shit. I believe Belgium, rest in peace. But he was a bounty hunter, and he was a good dude, man.
All right, I got 2 questions from your conversation. One, you mentioned the West Side.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about Larry Lilly, or tell the people about Larry Lilly?
Yeah, I met Larry Lilly in like 1969, right around in there, 69, 68. Larry Lilly came out here from Texas, and he was best friends with Odie Shaw, the leader, the founder of the Rolling 60 Crips at this time, and his brother Odell Shaw, Larry Lilly, and they were cafe boys. And this time, I was best friends with Odell, Odie Shaw's older brother. Like I said, I like to hang around the older guys, and older guys liked me around them because I was a cool, quiet kid for my age, and I didn't act like a kid because I didn't have a kid state of mind. And Larry Lilly would be posted up in the living room, and we would be in there jamming some jazz, kick back, just processing it, our day. And the funny thing is, when Larry Lilly went out of state for a little period of time, no one knew where he had went, but he went back to Texas. I was over his niece's house, who Jan Brewer has a baby by. And it was funny because I didn't know that they were relatives, and I'm in the house, and I'm looking at these pictures. She's showing me pictures of her homeboys, which was all, family, and Inglewood family. So I'm looking, I said, I know him. She said, you do? I said, yeah. And then I said, she said, well, come on up in my room. So I go upstairs in her room. She has a picture in there, and I says, damn, that dude looks like Larry Lilly. And she says, that is Larry Lilly. Where do you know him from? That's my uncle. I said, oh, that's my friend. She says, well, okay. So she goes in the backyard because they got a back house, and she goes and gets him. He comes in the living room. I didn't know he had came back after his hiatus, and he was like surprised to see me. And then, like I described later on, I ended up saving Larry Lilly's life. One of my homeboys and him got in a little altercation over a young lady. I grabbed a gun. God made the gun fall apart. The homeboy got mad at me for doing it. Larry Lilly was still there in shock. I told him, why are you still standing here? And then he leaves. Because dude's trying to put the gun back together.
So was Larry Lilly one of the leaders of the West Side Crips?
No, Larry Lilly was the leader of the Inglewood chain gang.
He was a chain gang.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Larry Lilly was the leader of the Cafe Boys outside of Big Kirk.